business analysis.
We need your introduction. Hold on, we want to find out about
Who are you?
What's your biggest fear?
In 5 minutes.
Afraid of the dark.
I'll be over here, otherwise she's filming my back.
Oh, we're on the
I'm just thinking.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Jim.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your family?
I do. I have a wife named Connie, and next Sunday we'll be celebrating our 29th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Connie. And I have a son, 21 years old in college, and a daughter who just started high school.
Excellent. You have a very interesting background, which I've learned. Do you want to give us a little bit about your background leading into what you do today?
Well, I kind of tried to really round my business experience out throughout my career so that I could, actually it's funny because when you're looking forward, building your career, it doesn't always feel real planful, but when you turn around and look back, it all seems to make sense. So, started in accounting and finance, worked in sales and marketing, business development. I was even, Mark Healy's not here, but I was even a financial advisor for a couple of years. Have my MBA, project management certification, and now I'm applying that to small business.
Perfect. How long have you been in business?
I've been in business 6 years.
6 years. Okay. What would be your one burning desire?
You know, one of my aspirations is to write a book on practical advice that works for small business.
Is there anything that everyone in this room that does not know about you?
Well, one thing probably nobody knows about me, and Chad was talking about being trustworthy. I'm an Eagle Scout. I can run a lot of the 12 points of the Scout Law, but trustworthy is a good one.
Do I salute you then?
Three fingers.
3 fingers. Okay. And then Chad was dying also to know what your biggest fear is. So.
My biggest fear? Boy, I don't know. I don't know that I have a huge fear. Being late to a meeting, being late to a client appointment is one of my biggest fears, actually.
Okay, take it away.
All right. How many people in here know everything there is to know about business? Karen? Anybody else? Notice I didn't raise my hand either. You can be on this earth for 150 years and not know everything there is about business. And if a business advisor tells you that they do, walk away. Okay? I don't know everything about business, but I surround myself with bright people. And ultimately, what I'm trying to do is provide practical advice that works for small business. So, mission statement for Advanced Business Group is we help our clients achieve their business vision by providing practical, independent, and unbiased advice. What does that mean? Practical. I come from the corporate world, but I had the privilege of working in a lot of startup and new venture things for a little company called American Express. And what it did is reinforced for me that a lot of small businesses need some of the structure and things that big businesses have, but ironically, big businesses trying to function more like small business. Make fast decisions, implement quickly, be a little more spontaneous, well thought out but spontaneous. So I try to bring some of that structure just enough in the small business to make them function well and be able to compete. So what does a typical engagement look like for me? Step one is always an initial consultation. No cost, no arm bending. I sit down with a prospect. If you refer somebody to me, we'll sit down and get to know each other. Generally, it's 1 to 2 hours. I've gone through 2 pots of coffee with an electrical contractor before, and it was a 4-hour initial consultation. Okay, whatever it takes, but let's get to know each other first. Then we can talk about the business. What's going on? What's keeping that business owner awake at night? What's working well? Okay, what are their goals? So we uncover the business needs. We can part as business friends. I always leave people better than I find them. That's one of my goals. So if they choose not to move forward and do business with me right away, don't have any huge needs, I'll still offer them suggestions based on our conversation. Okay? But ultimately, we'll determine if help is wanted. If it is, we'll move to step 2. First thing I'll do, and that's what I passed out, is a copy of an analysis that I did for an auto glass company. And you can pass those around, keep them moving, I guess. But first, there's a whole bunch of tools that I use. I'll survey the owners. What are they identifying? has the biggest gaps in their business? Again, what's keeping them awake at night? I'll survey and interview employees. More than once I've asked the employees, if you own this business, what's the first thing you would do, and what do you suppose they say? Fire the owner. That's exactly right. It's happened to me actually twice. I'll review past performance. I'll compare their financial data to industry averages and see how they compare to similar companies in their industry. Do a SWOT analysis. SWOT, strengths and weaknesses. That's internal to the organization. And you'll see that in the report that I'm sending around. What are your strengths and weaknesses as a company, as a business owner, your set of employees? Then opportunities and threats. What's going on in the economy, the environment, compliance, legislation? You know, Dave Clutch talked about there's going to be more licensing and regulation around home inspectors. That's good for a guy like Dave, but it's going to kill some of his competitors. Next slide. Based on that, then I can begin to make some recommendations. I'll sit down, I'll present the assessment to the business owner. We'll talk through it. Okay? Then we'll prioritize. What are we going to work on first? You remember a few weeks ago I mentioned prioritization? We can't work on 20 initiatives all at one time. We have to prioritize. Usually the owner is going to have the trump card on that. I can say what I think needs to be done first, but it's what's most important to that business owner. And unless they're putting the cart in front of the horse, that's what we're going to work on first, because that's going to start to relieve their stress. One of my goals for my clients. We'll develop a plan of action, and we'll stick to it. We'll set them up and knock them down. I bring in experts as needed. Again, I don't know everything, but I know some really talented people. Institute for Independent Business. That's an organization that I'm accredited through. There's about 4,000 of us worldwide that have gone through the screening and training and accreditation process. I tap that network of expertise. BNI. Tremendous network. You'll notice in that, and some of you, as you're looking through that report, the last page is recommendations. You'll see your name could be next to those. Website enhancement, brand image. That particular company needed a real CPA. Okay? I didn't know David Graff at the time, or he'd be their CPA right now. So, team of experts. And finally, the last phase is to maintain it. I met with somebody just last week, and he said, well, so when we get all these big things done, then what happens? I said, then we can just scale back the time that we're spending together. So you're not going to go away. No, I'm not. Great, because that's what I want. I want that ongoing relationship, be able to tap into that advice. I said, then we'll schedule a meeting every month, and we'll just make sure that you stay on track. So a good referral for me, obviously business owners. People who are passionate about their business. Okay? Turnaround type companies where people are burned out and so on, that's not my expertise. I can help refer those. I'll meet with anybody and have a conversation. And if I'm not a good match for them, I'll find somebody who is. Typically have employees and want to improve their business. There you go.